Hey guys, it's Anna Romskog and...
I'm not starting to like that. That's
No.
not how this works. Hello once again, watchers of The Walking Dead. My name is Nick Pell.
I'm Anna Romskog and I tried to hijack his opening and
She
still
did.
am! Woohoo!
And this week we're talking about Season 4, Episode 4 of The Walking Dead, entitled Indifference. And just really quick before we get into anything, there will be immense spoilers from this episode and probably from stuff in the rest of the season and the series itself. So if you haven't watched Episode 4, Season 4, then go watch it, then come back to this video. So starting out, we see essentially Rick and Carol getting ready to go out on a run for some supplies, and
Carol talking to Lizzie.
Yeah, Carol talking to Lizzie.
Who is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason that having Carol and Rick together for this episode is really significant is because at the very end of the last episode, Rick asked Carol if she was the one who killed Karen and David. I don't know why I can remember their names perfectly, but usually this doesn't happen.
Well, considering David was in it only for like 60 seconds.
Yeah, I'm like, why do I remember their names greatly? But he asked Carol if she had killed them, and she admitted to it, and so it's basically Rick saying what he's going to do about this. And so the episode is divided between two different stories. This time it's between Rick and Karen and seeing what they Rick and Carol. Fuck.
There's a lot of K names in this show, okay? K, not to say they all start with K, but they all have a K sound to them.
So it starts out. I'm just gonna edit a lot of this apparently.
Don't edit any of it. No.
The episode is split between two different stories this time. We have Rick and Carol who are off getting supplies, and then we have Daryl, Tyrese, Michonne, and the doctor's name, who I don't remember. They're off at the vet school, still getting supplies and medicine for the camp. So I'll probably talk about one of them in its full nature, and then we'll talk about the other. Let's talk about the vet school one first, so Daryl and his group, because the big surprise of the episode is with Rick and Carol. Carol.
Rick and Carol is the big surprise.
Yeah. So we'll talk about Daryl and his group really quick. And first character I want to talk about is Tyrese, because he's going through some like really interesting stuff, like mental issues, because one of the first scenes that the show is the four of them hacking away at some bushes to attempt to get a car. Why are you on your phone?
I'm looking up the name of the doctor.
Okay, that works. Dr.
Anything? No, not that doctor. Stop it. You Hoovian.
You. November 23rd. Yeah, he's hacking away, and he accidentally lets loose 3 zombies, and he's essentially holding on to one of them.
Bob Stuckey.
That's his actual name in the show?
No, that's his character's name. Bob Stuckey.
That's why they don't say it.
His name's Bob. Dr. Bob.
Okay, let's call him Dr. Bob.
Dr. Bob. Wonders of... Nick's had a long day.
We're filming this at night, so in the morning.
Because I forgot to tell her
everything on her.
that I had a meeting.
Yeah.
When we usually record, which is
her.
like at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah, blame her for everything that goes wrong in your life for the next week.
Why me?
You're now the.
What did I do?
You're now the channel scapegoat.
The channel scapegoat. Oh crap! Do I get a goat award for this?
No. Okay, getting back on track.
No, let's stay off track.
I don't know how much of this I'm going to keep in.
Okay, so the vet school. So we catch up with them in the woods after they've escaped the zombie pile-up coming out of the vet school.
Yeah.
And so they're working their way back to the school on foot, and
and they're hacking away at like a wall of shrubs.
Yeah, around a garage, because they found a car, but the car is out of the battery's dead on the car, and so they can't get it started.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get into the automotive shop that the car's parked next to get a battery and some other stuff for the car.
Yeah.
And
And then Tyrese ends
Yeah.
up letting free 3 zombies. Michonne and Daryl take out 2 of them. And then, hi Brad.
Hi, random roommate.
And then Tyrese, he's essentially pulling one of the zombies towards him. And the other members keep telling...
Banana demon.
You have to keep that in here.
Will.
That was Brad, everyone. He's our roommate. He's great.
I'm gonna watch this later.
You will watch this later. You'll have no idea what we're talking about. But
It's
you'll
been
see
a
that.
long day. Okay, so Therese is pulling the zombie towards him.
And Michonne and Daryl and everyone's telling him, just let it go. And then he drags it out, he falls on him, and then they end up taking it out. And
Everyone starts yelling at him.
well, not really
Well,
yelling at
kind of,
him,
but like, why the hell didn't you let go of the zombie?
Yeah.
What was the point of holding on?
Yeah. So he's just got a lot of built-up rage that's being kind of let out in very random ways. And so it'll be interesting just to see what his reaction is when, for the next episode, for reasons that we'll get to later. Let's see, what else happened with that?
Well, and then after Dr. Bob starts chatting with Daryl as they're getting the car prepped to go, about the fact that he became an alcoholic after the zombie apocalypse
Yeah.
because he just started drinking anything and everything so he could go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
So they get to the vet school, they're grabbing medications, and the school's overrun, so they're trying to get out, and they're getting overrun, and so they end up jumping onto a walkway covering,
Yep.
and Dr. Bob, I don't want to keep calling him Dr. Bob, we should just call him Bob. Bob almost falls off the walkway covering, and the zombies
Yeah.
below are like grabbing at his backpack.
Yep.
And so he's hanging off, and the zombies have his backpack, and everyone else is trying to pull him up, and they're telling him to let go of the backpack. And we find out that he found a bottle of booze in the school, and he had it in his backpack, and that's why he wasn't letting it go.
Yeah.
And Daryl goes to toss the bottle so it would smash, and he
Reaches
begins
for
to
his
pull the gun out. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when Daryl just gets so pissed off at him. Because,
I've never seen his character that angry.
Yeah, he just gets right up in his face. It looks like he's very tempted to just push him off and just let the zombies have their way with him. Mm-hmm. And I almost thought that's what he was going to do.
I thought for a second, yeah.
Yeah, but that would be very anti-Daryl.
The other thing I thought that they might do is just leave him on top of the walkway.
Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting one of those two things, but Daryl basically tells him, if you take a sip of that before we get the medicine to everyone, you will get your ass beat and pounded into the ground, and probably left on the side of the road. So.
And that's kind of where that story finishes up. I mean, they get in the car and head back towards the prison.
Yeah,
But that's
and,
pretty
we
much
have
it.
Michonne talking about her trying to take down the governor, and basically admitting the trail has gone cold. I don't know why I'm still chasing him. And she
She kind of says she's not exactly chasing him so much anymore. That if she saw him, yeah, she'd get him.
yeah.
But she's not exactly as actively looking for him as she was.
Well, because the trail has gone cold now, she
Yeah.
doesn't know where to find him. So
Which I'm sure we will see him come up again before the end of the season.
yeah. For some reason I feel like there was more with the vet school than we're talking about, but
I don't think so.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
Okay. That was the more exciting part of the episode, though. That was where all the action was. As opposed to where Rick and Carol were, which was in a cul-de-sac, in which they were just looking for food or gasoline or anything.
And meds, anything
meds.
they could get to help them out.
Yeah.
Because all the food that was in Cell Block D is now contaminated, so they don't want to eat it. Because even if it's not contaminated, they don't want to risk it. And then they don't have any kind of medication whatsoever, so they're trying to find anything they can that can help.
Yeah, and right away they find a zombie in the first house that they search, and then after they take down the zombie, two live people show
Pop
up.
out of the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay! And usually with this show, by now, if you meet two new people, they're not going to last through the episode, or at least a few episodes, if they're just randomly found.
But they also usually pull out a gun, and instead they just threw an apricot at them.
That's true. Yeah, they weren't. I think they were just trying to survive at that point too.
Yeah.
But Rick starts to give them like his 3 questions to decide if he can trust them or not, and he essentially does. And Carol fixes his shoulder because it's
Fixes the one guy, the new guy's shoulder.
Yeah.
Whose name is Sam.
Yeah.
I think that's the only name I can remember. I don't remember the chick's name.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Oh, there was a guy and a girl trapped in a bathroom for 3 days.
Yeah, because
2 days.
there's a zombie outside, and they didn't want to risk getting bit.
Yeah.
But Rick admits, like, he decides to let them know where the prison is and invites them to come with. And then they're gonna, like, Rick and Carol are gonna go out and look for more supplies, and Carol comes up with the bright idea to have them search as well and like look for supplies along with them. And Rick's opposed to this, but then Carol's just like, we can cover more ground this way, and Rick eventually gives in. There's a really interesting scene between Rick and Carol when they were picking the tomatoes, because they both talk about the losses that they've dealt with. Rick brings up the fact that Carol doesn't really talk about Sophia anymore, and she also talks about her husband and how she was abused and all these types of things. And so I thought that was really interesting, just kind of digging back into that whole thing and seeing kind of a more vulnerable Carol. I've seen a more vulnerable Carol than we've seen in the last season or so. And then Rick also talks about Lori and how he's always ready for her to like tell him that he has to pick up Carl from school, or that breakfast is ready. Yeah.
Shitty pancakes.
Yeah. So it was just a nice moment. It kind of brought back into the picture the fact that these people had normal lives beforehand,
and then it was really nice. And then we get to, like, they're done scavenging food and supplies, and they end up sitting and waiting for this couple that they found to come back after they find out that the chick got eaten.
Yeah, because
by
they
zombies.
find her leg.
Yeah.
Which is a giveaway in itself. But then they see like 2 or 3 zombies chomping on her body, so.
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah, she's done.
So they're sitting in this house waiting for the other guy to come back, Sam.
Yeah.
And it's like they've given him like a ridiculous amount of time, kind of. And Carol's like, we gotta go. And so they head out towards the car, start packing it up, and then we start getting to the part of the big thing that happens in the whole episode. And
oh, one thing I want to mention really quick before we get to that. We have Carol kind of a little bit earlier talking about basically why she did what she did, and it was the fact that these were the only 2 people sick originally. We have guests.
no, it's just our roommates.
Oh, okay. So Carol talks about essentially why she did what she did. They were the only 2 people sick. She figured if she killed them now, she would save everyone else. She did it to save the people in the prison, and had their interest in mind. She felt that she had to act, and that was why she did it, which is essentially what I predicted in the last episode.
Pretty obvious she was going to use that.
Yeah.
And then Rick comes back with, they could have survived, and it wasn't your choice to make. Even if it was made for those reasons, it wasn't your choice to make. Yeah. And he ends up kicking her out of the group because he knows that when Tyrese finds out, Tyrese is going to kill her. Yeah. And when the rest of the group finds out, they're not going to want her around. Yeah. And so he kicks her out. He gives her supplies, he gives her a car, he gives her gas, and he says, hit the road. He
essentially gives her a better chance to survive than she would have if she went back to the prison and admitted to all of it. Because no one would trust her anymore, because she would be the person who
started killing sick people.
Yeah. And I think even in the very beginning scenes before the intro starts up, we see her basically in Rick's vision, like, taking out the sick people who are really close to death, and she just stabs them and ends them right away. that's basically
Not
Rick.
a good policy, by the way.
Yeah, and we just see Rick kind of basically debating in his head over what he has to do. And like she said, he gives her supplies, a car, and she takes off. And you want to say?
Oh, I was going to say, and so at the last, 35 seconds of the episode is Rick driving down the road in his car, Michonne, Daryl, Tyrese, and Bob in their car on their way back to the prison, and Carol driving down the road.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of see 3 people all in motion. And so the next episode, I don't know where they're going to go exactly with the next episode because, I don't know, I think I said this about the last episode, but I felt like this one was again a kind of filler episode.
I wouldn't say it's a filler because significant events happen.
That's true. It's not technically a filler, but
Yeah.
I feel like
They got the medicine, and then Rick dealt with the Carol situation. So I think it progressed the story immensely. It wasn't just there, and it could have been left out entirely, or else I don't think it would have.
I disagree with him, but we'll find out.
One thing I want to mention really quick is the 2 reactions of first Tyrese, because I would assume that Rick will tell them that it was Carol, but he'll probably say that she got killed in the.
I think he'll actually be honest.
I don't know, because I feel like Tyrese would be more upset with Rick if he found out that he just let her go, because Tyrese wouldn't have gotten his justice. And I also want to see Daryl's reaction because him and Carol have essentially a thing going on.
But it's not really a thing, but it's kind of a thing. It's really cute and flirty.
Yeah, it's been a thing that's been happening since about season 2.
Yeah.
And
ow! My finger hurts.
and so I want to see Daryl's reaction to that when he finds out that either, depending on what Rick says, either she got killed or Rick kicked her out. So, it should be interesting next episode. The promo for it looks like it'll be exciting with the flu virus being spread more fluently, and it should be interesting. So you just thought it was kind of a basic filler episode? It wasn't really that important?
I do think some significant events happened.
Okay.
But I also feel like this season is moving at a much slower pace from past seasons.
I would say it's not moving as fast as season 3, but it's moving faster than season 2.
Yes.
Season 2 was really, really slow.
Season 2, they were just at the farm
Yeah.
the whole damn time.
Yeah. And there was a lot of walking and talking and not really a lot of zombies. Which I think the producers picked up on and they changed for season 3. But like I said, this is going not off the comics anymore. It's completely separate. So it'll be, and what is there a whining noise?
I don't know. There are weird noises in our apartment. I think it's haunted sometimes. It's just fucking weird.
Okay.
And you can bleep that out if you want. I'm sorry.
Okay, at this point, I can't bleep on video.
That sucks.
Just audio. Speaking of audio, you should check out my podcast called, at this point, the Discussion Podcast.blogspot.com.
I was on it.
She was on it. Yeah, that's right. She was on it for episode 10, which will go out on Wednesday. So, check that out if you so choose. Overall, I liked the episode. I thought it moved it along quite nicely. She
disagree a little bit on certain things. I don't think it was a bad episode. I just don't think it moved it along as much as it could have.
I would say it was more of a character development episode, if nothing else.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
I would
Because
definitely
we find out a lot about a bunch of the characters, so, I don't know. That's our thoughts on the episode. Leave yours in the comments down below. Like, favorite, comment, and subscribe if you so choose. I'd appreciate it immensely.
If anyone knows why there were 92 views of the last video,
It's over 100 now.
Okay, over 100 views of the last episode. Can you please tell us? Because we're honestly curious.
Yeah.
We're just like, what the hell happened?
Because, the first one has, 30, the second one has, 20, and this one in the episode 3 has like over 100. And
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Please tell
why.
us. We'd like to know so we can keep making them, because apparently you like that.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that episode, you like it. So if you can tell us so we can keep making it the way you like, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be lovely, because I want views.
And I just sit here and talk.
She
So.
does, that's true.
I'm a girl, that's what I do.
As a phrase from last year, fuck you and your sexist views.
That might need a lot of context, but we will go into that in the next video, not this one.
Just like how we're going to go into beard trimming for this one.
Oh yeah, how do you trim your beard?
Not gonna.
He's growing it back, have you noticed? It looks a lot better.
Yes, he does, he does. Alright, so... Did I go over everything already? Yeah.
Yes.
Alright, so, once again, my name is Nick Pell.
My finger hurts.
And as always, my good people, keep on watching.
How did I even do that?
I don't know. You're a terrible human being. Obviously.
I didn't even say anything about it.
Yeah, but you can always tell from like facial features, and like that's something that I've learned when asking people stuff. Basically, if you don't respond with an affirmative answer, like does this person die? No. Then yeah, that person's not gonna die. But if you just stay silent and just don't even answer, then it's like an obvious yes.
But I said I can't tell you.
That's also kind of a giveaway. I can't tell you if that person died or not. Otherwise, most people just no, there's not on the show.
But I don't want to flat. Okay, never mind. Let's just.
What was this one called? Indifference?
I thought it was called isolation.
No, Isolation was last week, I thought. But, 1 second. Oh, they got renewed for his 5th season.
Indifference.
Yeah, Indifference. Okay.
Yeah, they did get renewed for a 5th season.
Yep. Which is good, because they're probably filming the second half of season 4 right now. So.
Okay. Whatever. You have to add this into the start of this before you get to your actual opening. This has to go in at some point.
I will.
Banana demon.